And let's introduce our next two teams of the stream. We have battle number 2, the Shaded Sunsets, and Nomad's Gambit. Let's just jump right in. I'm like really hungry. Wow, brain. Okay, distracted. ADD much. All right. The first team of battle number 2, we have the Shaded Sunsets, led by my friend Phoenix, playing for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We have currently in 7th place at 5-4. A team that has been really stepping up lately, has been kind of on the lower half of the bracket or the leaderboards in the first few weeks, but then has been just consistently showing up and having some really good battles here, looking to continue to climb in these rankings. Um, and the team that here, um, sorry, chat, y'all are funny, but the team here is just a really strong, a lot of sweeping potential. But not only that, we have a lot of Pokemon that just can hold their own as well. We see the OU Pokemon on the team. We have this Galarian, not the Galarian Slowking. We just saw Galarian Slowking. We have the regular King of the Slowness. We have just Slowking at 0-4, not having any knockouts, but just mostly being used to set up the Ice Train Reflect and just being really good at it. But the Komo-O, the OU Pokemon, at 7-3, has had a pretty good showing here, but just hasn't really been brought too often because these other Pokemon have just been stepping up. The UU Pokemon on the team, we have the Orthworm finally getting some good knockouts in the last week, is now at 6-3, with a Quacklevolt at 8-4, another Pokemon that has had a 6-0 sweep on this team. The Argumons of this team, we have the recently traded Dragalge at 0-0. Not really recent, it's been a while, but Dragalge at 0-0. The Arcanine at 0-2, and the Caparaja at 0-0. The Elephant Chicken having not shown his face quite yet. We see the RU Pokemon on this team. We have the Minior at 8-2, another Pokemon that has had a 6-0 sweep on this team. A Dunsparce at 0-0, the boy is not shown up yet. And the Whiscash, the traded Whiscash from the Rhythm Rotoms, has also been putting in the work for this team, is at 2-3. Again, like I said in the last battle, the Frigoraph Whiscash trade has been fantastic for both of these teams, so I'm really excited to see that paying off here. We also see the PU Pokemon of this team. We have the Glaceon at 0-1, the Dachsbun at 3-2, Trevenant at 4-3, and Stantler at 2-4. Stantler, a Pokemon that I kind of didn't expect to see from this team leader, but it has been putting in the work. I mean, not too much work, but it has been putting, not really work as in knockouts, but it's been an annoyance as it should be. It's been really good. I'm actually really excited to show you all this battle because Shaded Sunsets and Nomad's Gambit, these two teams really fought it out, and it was a really good battle to see. But the Nomad's Gambit, let's introduce Nomad's Gambit. Led by Nomad Rodin, playing for the Ronald McDonald House, currently 15th at 0-9. Not having a knockout yet, but definitely looking to get their first, not knockout, not having a win yet, but trying to get their first win against the Shaded Sunsets today. We see the OU Pokemon of this team being the Blaziken at 3-4 and the King Gambit at 1-3. Two Pokemon that could be really good late game sweeper potential, just have not unfortunately been able to do that. The UU Pokemon, we see the Lucario at 1-4 and the Chestnut at 5-5. The Chestnut surprisingly being the Pokemon with the most knockouts on this team. I'd expect it to be like a Blaziken having the most knockouts, but I mean, whatever. What can you do? The Pokemon of this team, we have the Alolan Sandslash at 0-4, the Kingdra at 1-3, and the Samurott at 2-5. All some pretty good Pokemon. Just Sandslash might have really good defenses. It just isn't that great if you don't have the Snowstorm set up for the Slush Rush ability, which unfortunately the Nomad's Gambit has not been able to set that up yet. The NU Pokemon, we have the Magneton at 0-4, with the Cacturne and Kingler each at 0-3. The Magneton has been doing a really good job, though, being able to set up the Light Screen and Reflect and just survive until it can switch out and have those two screens set up properly. A really good strategy here. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Hopefully some more knockouts coming from these NU Mons, because I don't like seeing the zeros as the first number of these NU Pokemon, but we will see what happens. But the PU Pokemon of the team, we have the Midnight Lycanroc at 2 and 3, the Golem at 0 and 2, Honchkrow at 3 and 7, and Frogadier at 0 and 2. I'm actually kind of hoping to see more from Frogadier. Like, Frogadier has a potential to be really good, too. It's kind of just naturally speedy, despite being a second stage evolution, or first stage being a middle evolution Pokemon, not fully evolved Pokemon. It has a really respectable speed and special attack set, so I'm kind of curious to see if this Frogadier can work. But let's move on to our lineup team of the... whatever. We see the Shaded Sunsets bringing the Dragalge, bringing the Whiscash, the Trevenant, the Orthworm, the Stantler, and the Dachshund. Kind of a bunch of Pokemon that are not really too high on the tier list. I'm kind of excited to see what this team can do. Yep, we see the Dragalge coming back, and I'm excited about that. From the Nomad's Gambit, we have the Blaziken, the Chestnut, the Alolan Sandslash, the Magneton, Lycanroc Midnight, and the Kingdra. I do miss seeing these three Pokemon on my own team, though, I will say. The amount of times I've had these three in my lineup, I'm so sad. I miss them. Yeah, we do see kind of like more of an all-out attacker team here against kind of a more defensive team here, so we'll kind of see what strategy works more. If we have the more defensive Pokemon able to chonk the hits, or the attacking Pokemon pulling out ahead and able to take down the defensive mons. Let's go into this battle and see the starting lineup or starting Pokemon of these two teams for battle number 2 in week number 10. The Shaded Sunsets leading with the Draconic Sunset, the Whiscash, with the Nomad's Gambit leading with the Magneton, no nickname, sad. The Whiscash going for an immediate Stealth Rock, with the Magneton going for a Light Screen right away. A layer of Spikes then being set up by the Whiscash, with the Reflect then being set up by the Magneton. Another layer of Spikes, though, getting set up from Whiscash, with the Flash Cannon, of course being resisted hit, not doing too much to the Whiscash, with the Liquidation hitting back and getting the defense drop right away here. And the Volt Switch from Nomad's Gambit, obviously not working. The Traps doing a little bit of damage to this Chestnut, with the last layer of Spikes being set up by this Whiscash. The immediate switch from the Whiscash, though, into the Stantler, with the Trail Blaze. The Sap Sipper, though, is going to raise the attack of the Stantler, and the Scythe Shield Bash is going to do some damage and raise the defense of the Nuclear Deer thing, with a close combat doing some really good damage here, but not quite enough to take down the Stantler. Another Scythe Shield Bash is going to do a little bit more chip damage, raise the defenses, but the Wiki Berry is going to bring it up, but going to get confused. The Chestnut breaks through confusion, though, and is able to close combat the Nuclear Deer thing. The Light Screen, though, wearing off now on Nomad's Gambit's side. The Shaded Algae, though, comes out with the Dragon Claw doing some pretty good damage, but the Poison Point is able to poison the Chestnut, with a layer of Toxic Spikes being set up by the Dragalge now. The Dragalge immediately switching into the Dachshund, though, with a Dragon Claw, of course, being immune because of the fairy typing of the Doggo. The Chestnut switching out into the Magneton is going to take a lot of damage here from these traps set up, with the Wish then being set up from the Doggo, going back into the Shaded Algae, the Dragalge. The Flash Cannon doing a little bit of damage, but the Wish is going to come true and get it healed back up to over half of its HP, with the Magneton setting up a Reflect. The Dragalge, though, setting up another layer of Toxic Spikes, with the Trevenant switching in with the Magneton going for a Light Screen. The switch from the Magneton into the Lycanroc Midnight, getting hit by all of the traps here, with the Trick being set up, giving the Lycanroc an Iron Ball in exchange for leftovers of the Lycanroc. And the Sucker Punch, though, failing from this Lycanroc, with a Leech Seed being set up by this Trevenant here, doing just even more chip damage to the poor Doggo here. The Sucker Punch failing again, with the Leech Seed, of course, failing again, trying to get some chip damage from the Leech Seed and the Toxic. Lycanroc only at 2% HP here, and switches out into the Sandslash to try to get it to survive, but it's not going to work. The Leaf Seed gets it up from the Sand Slash here, the Alolan Sand Slash, doing a little bit of chip damage, with the Snowscape then being set up by the Sand Slash, and the Poltergeist is going to hit it, but not do too much damage, but the Air Balloon is going to pop now, with the Leaf Seed doing a little bit more chip damage from here. The Half-Baked Sunset to predict the Icicle Spear, doing some pretty good damage, but only getting 3 hits here. The Leech Seed is going to recover a lot of that HP, though, with the Reflect now wearing off from the Sand Slash. The Leech Life trying to get a little bit of recovery from the Dash Bun, but it's not going to work. The Rocky Helmet doing more damage than he got recovery, with the Body Press coming through to take down the Sand Slash. Magneton is going to come back in and do some more get more damage hit by the traps, with the Body Press going through to take down the Magneton as well. Nomad's Gambit not really looking too high here with all these traps on the field. Kingdra taking almost half its HP by the traps, with the switch from the Dash Bun into the Dragalge to eat the Scald from the Kingdra. Kingdra immediately switches into the Chestnut. The traps do so much damage, and the Dragon Pulse is enough to take down the Chestnut. I mean, obviously it's enough because it's doing too much damage. More trap damage from this Kingdra here, with the switch from the Dragalge into the Earthworm to hit and resist the Dragon Pulse. Still doing a lot of damage, but not too much. The Earthworm surviving it here. And the Dragon Pulse is going to bring it down to 3% HP, but survive, with the Iron Head able to take down the Kingdra. Lycanroc comes in and immediately falls down because of the traps. With Blaziken left, can the Blaziken pull off the sweep here? It has the potential to because of the speed boost ability. Switch from the Earthworm into the Dash Bun to predict the Flamethrower to raise the Dash Bun's defenses here. Of course, the speed boost is going to come into effect, but it might be too late now. The Aura Sphere not doing too much damage to the Doggo, with the Doggo going for a play rough, doing so much damage here, and the Toxic is enough to take down the Blaziken. The Shaded Sunsets showing just another strategy that they can do and just be so good with this strategy. They, really need to defog from Nomad's Gambit. All I can say, just Shaded Sunsets has been really strong lately, and they're definitely a team to be afraid of here.